just need to know how qualified and skilled you are. And then brag about yourself. Success must-haves. First, you have to get the right person representing you. Then you need to give them the goals and rewards. Then provide the right tools, but then hold them accountable. Okay? So I love Connie. I love her name badge. And I look at how open she is. I love this woman. If your coordinator could do this, this is half the battle. How likable is she? She's friendly, open, curious, and she's not selling. She's servicing. We have to, some people are so afraid of that word selling, so let's not call it that. We're servicing a patient. Nobody's grabbing these people off the street. You're not cold calling them. They have a problem. You have a solution, and she's going to help you get to that journey, get through that journey. So here are the goals and rewards. Forget the attorneys right now. I live in the real world. When you give a human being a carrot for doing more, they will do more. So I like to pay on productivity, and I like to have goals. You decide in a week's time or a month's time, what's a good number for how many leads, how many lead follow-ups, how many consults, how many book surgeries, how many follow-ups. You really want to get clear about what numbers you're looking at, because if you just say to the coordinator, I just want you to get, keep me busy in surgery, that's not clear enough. We want to give them goals. Now, here's what I suggest doing. I would look at all the, let's say for the last 16 months, from 2024 to now, look at all the revenues you brought in for surgery. I would divide those months by the revenues, and that would be her monthly goal. You already know how to do that because it's already being done. Her salary would be based on that. The minimum would be her quota. Anything over that, she gets bonused. And the bonus can be a flat rate bonus per surgery booked, or a percentage of revenues. You must pay them monthly. Too many practices pay them once a quarter or once a year. People who are living in this world of productivity, they need carrots much sooner than that. They need to, here's the action I'm taking, and here's the carrot I'm getting. And then they would get chargebacks for cancellations. So that's really how a true person, you're asking this person a lot. You need that person to have the skill to take a patient from a, I don't know you from Joe Schmo, to yes, here's 20 grand. There's some skill in that. And there's some, and I think you need to pay accordingly. I'll say it that way. Would you please give them a CRM or a software that tracks leads? So many of you still have paper, or you're using an Excel sheet. You can't, as a coordinator, you can't keep track of all this, and frankly, it will not hold them accountable if you don't have a good place to just put all the leads in one place. It's not expensive to do this. The other ones are. The big softwares are huge. But if you're just using a typical lead tracking system, no big deal, but it keeps all the leads in one place, and now you're following the lead. You know where you're at in the system. It can do the scheduling. It has all the patient information. It's catching all the notes that you're learning as you journey with this patient. It can have the reminders. I love having templates done. As an efficient follow-up system, you should already have templates in there. You say the same thing over and over and over. So why not have a library of templates and just change the name and change a couple things each time and put together drip campaigns? So it's just so easy nowadays to automate a lot of this. That half of the drag is for a coordinator. You're trying to get him or her to, sell your skills, but she's stuck in the admin. The last thing we want is her to get stuck there because she'll say, I didn't have time to make any phone calls. I'm doing this instead. We don't want her to have that excuse. Automate the heck out of as much of this as you can. Now, you have to give her a really cool consult room. Do you love this? It has mirrors. We need mirrors. Mirrors are everything. Mirrors are the best silent selling tool on the planet. We women have been staring at ourselves for 10 years looking at this problem, and we want her to continue to look at it while she's going to get a quote. Okay? So you have mirrors. I do like putting up signage things like why us? Just all sorts of educational things, but especially bragging. pieces. So she remembers why you're the best choice for her. I do like to put flowers, although I guess everyone's allergic to everything now, so I don't know if they have to be silk flowers. But it's been proven that if you ask a woman a question in front of a flower shop, apparently she says yes more often. I don't know, that's what they say. And then there's a chair, like there's a desk, and then there's a chair. They say we humans are better when we're trying to bond with somebody to sit next to them with the quote. So that's why I have the other two chairs there. So you can sit behind your desk for authority at the beginning. That's your power position. But then when you're presenting the quote, come around and sit side by side. That's a little psychological. By the way, in quite a few practices, they don't give the coordinator an office with privacy. And she becomes this traveling salesperson going exam room to exam room, and she's wobbling a laptop, and it's on her lap. That is not a power position. So I would really take a look at that. I've been in practices where the coordinator has to go out to the front desk, and off to the side, they talk about the quote right in front of everybody. We need privacy when we're talking about this kind of stuff. Okay, here's the why choose us. Would you please tell your coordinator why you're so great? And if you're not sure, I'll give you a couple of ideas. I love these kind of visuals, and the patients need to see these kinds of things. They're not going to read your 30-page CV anymore. Just give them a visual. And the visual is, meet the doctor. I explained why they're board certified. None of us regular people know what board certified means. We just know we're supposed to know it's important. If you really look at it, nobody knows, while the rest of us went to high school, college, I even went to grad school, and then we all started making money. You were broke for another 14 years. Like, that's a big deal, and I think patients need to know how qualified and skilled you are. And then brag about yourself. If you've done 2,500 tummy tucks, 3,000 facelifts, count them all up from residency and make that a big deal, because no patient wants to be number 3. They want to be number 3,003, And then any logos you can use, all of you have been seen in places, on certain magazines, local, national, TV, cable, wherever. Make a big deal out of that too. We love pictures. So put it all together in this, and now the patient knows why I'm going to choose you over somebody else. And would you please do surgery on your coordinators? My goodness, I've been in practices where the minute that coordinator had a facelift, she tripled facelifts overnight. Doesn't that make sense? And so many doctors are like, I'm not giving her free surgery. Are you kidding? That's not free surgery. That is advertising. I think you can write that off, quite frankly. But if you have a walking, talking testimonial who is bragging about you, and the patient can see for her own eyes how great the coordinator looks, I think that's an overnight success. So please think that over. Okay.
Hello there. Quick pause to ask you if you have gaps in your practice draining your time, profits, and peace of mind. If so, I can help you streamline, grow, and take the guesswork out of your practice. Book your practice growth strategy review at katherinemaley.com, and let's turn those gaps into growth. Now, back to the podcast.
And then give her consult cards. You know how we have networking cards or referral cards? Give her consult cards, but make sure you charge for a consult. So you charge anywhere between $100 to $500 for a consult. She's out in her world, and when she goes to a party and she says, oh, I work for a plastic surgeon, do you know what a big, I'm a consultant to plastic surgeons, and I feel like I'm an assistant information group, It's like such a hot topic. We love talking about it, and they always ask me who's the best. I can't tell you. But give her the comp cards and let her pass them out, and now it's a much better qualified lead, by the way, because they know her, and now they get a complimentary, and the doctor gets caught up in that. I'm not doing any complimentary consults. Yes, you are. If it's that kind of a referral source, if it's a word of mouth, you would do that all day long. And then I really think you need to educate a patient way before you meet them. I want that patient to show up in the practice when they meet you that you are God, because they have seen you to death. I think you should have a YouTube channel. It's the way to go. And you just put all your videos on your YouTube channel. And the secret is to make sure that patient sees it before the consultation. So if you haven't shown them to her already with a link in your welcome email, at least give her an iPad when she gets to your practice. You let these patients idly wait, which is the kiss of death, by the way, but don't let them get back on their phone into their own world. This is your only chance to keep them in your world. So give them an iPad, fill it up. And include things like, video testimonials and before and after patient stories. Now, we need some wiggle room. This is now I'm going to use the word sales, whatever the heck you want to call it. We have to get to a decision. You are not just competing with another surgeon, you're competing with the vacation that the husband wants to go on, the kid's school. You're competing with all that indisposable income. We need to help this patient get to a yes. Most patients, most human beings, need prompting to get over the fence and finally make a decision. We will think about things forever. We will procrastinate forever because it's easier to do that than say yes. So we've got procrastinators and then we have the negotiators. In today's world, there are a lot of cultures here. I lived in Turkey for 1 year. It's a long story, but I had to literally negotiate my toothpaste and the bread, and I thought, this place is exhausting. Like, then I got the American rate, I will tell you. But be prepared. A lot of patients literally negotiate for sport. So you can either say, we do none of that, or you can have strategies to address it if need be. Okay. So here are a couple of ideas. Offer specials for a reason. You never have a discount to have a discount because you're not busy. You have a reason for it. So for example, you could have special group incentives for realtors in your neighborhood, gym club members, dog lovers, mummies, especially mommy groups, teachers, yogis, the military, whatever works in your community. And you don't have to yell this from the hill. You can have it in your back pocket for when you need it. And then you pull it out and say, well, by the way, we do have an incentive for this certain group. I'd be happy to share that with you. Another one is to add value. How does that sound? I don't know what it said. Oh, thank God. Okay. Connie, Dr. Smith doesn't drop his prices, but what if I could persuade him to remove those 3 moles that bother you at no charge while you're in surgery? How does that sound? You know what another really good one is? Almost everybody has a bad scar. What if I could get him to revise that scar while he's in surgery at no extra charge? How does that sound? That's really good. Now you gave her something that's bothered her forever, and you threw it in, and it's nothing to you and a lot to her. Gifts with surgery is huge. A lot of you offer gifts intermittently, but you don't make them a big deal. Like when they're at the pre-op, you give them all these gifts like with, arnica and all of that. I say, no, make that a big deal. Gifts with surgery, add value of $200 while supplies last, because we have our procrastinators who are always going to think about it forever. And I would have that in the coordinator's office, and I would have it on display. And again, we women are like, what? Gifts with surgery? How do I get that? How do I get that? Just say yes today. And then ways to save, just think about it. I'm just giving you some ideas, whatever you're comfortable with. They can have a $500 gift card towards surgery when they book the consult, but you have to tell them ahead of time because you need them to show up with a credit card that can take $500. 5% off if they pay in full at the consult, but you have to tell them ahead of time. 5% cash discount. Please do not say we charge 3.75% when you use a credit card. That is so disrespectful and so nitpicky and makes you look very cheap. Just build that in. Just don't say anything don't say anything. Just raise your prices. Or make a big deal out of it. 5% discount when you pay in cash. You can have a 5% VA or first responders, and then multi-procedure savings. We do love savings. So if you could meet them in the middle and come up with some creative strategies, that helps them get to a yes because you work with them, they work with you, and you're both happy. This is something I used to use a lot, and I would keep it in my back pocket, especially at the end of the month. It was always, we were always celebrating his anniversary, I'm just saying. But we had a gift card, and it was a $500 gift card towards your surgical procedure, and the coordinator used to say, you know what, Sarah, I see you're on the fence. Here, I do have this idea. Dr. Smith gives me these, it's our anniversary this month, so he gave me the 2 of these gift cards that I'm allowed to give out, and I'd love to give one to you if you're ready to move forward. Okay. And then lastly, if you're not going to discount and you're not going to play that negotiating game, at least give them ways to pay for it. The doctors get all caught up on what it costs money for that. You are tripping over the $200 service fee for the credit card to not get the $20,000 surgical fee. You really have to change your mind on that. Most people that you do business with, your patients, do not have $20,000, but they do have $500 a month. Yeah. So please find these calculators. They're everywhere. They're so much fun, and the patient gets to decide. Here's $10,000. Look at all the. She can get 0% financing up to 12 months, or she can do 24 months, 36 months, 48. I probably wouldn't go over 48 months, but give her a way to help her find the money is the point. And then I'm out of. And the last thing, please, please, please text. Figure it out. There's tons of technology out there. We patients want to text. It's the easiest way to communicate with a patient who's thinking about it, and I like to use it a lot in this regard. It's urgency, because this is for the procrastinators. Hi, Sarah, it's Kim from Dr. Smith's office. We just had a surgery slot open up you may want. Do you have a minute to talk now? This is when when you've got a cancellation and now you're kind of screwed, so now you have to fill it. You don't fill it by emailing people. Oh, by the way, if you're still thinking about it, no, it's got to be text, it's got to be urgent, and it's first come. Do you hear how urgent that is? And that patient could be just the one. I personally have said yes to this so many times because I'm like that. Give me a reason to stop what I'm doing with my busy life and say yes now. And that is that. I actually do training coordinators, and I have a reverting club. So if you're interested, you can just hit that QR code. Thanks so much. I'll see you tomorrow.
The fastest way to success is to model other successful surgeons who have what you want, but you can only see their results, not the path they took to get there. So you continue to jump from one thing to another, hoping to find something that will work for you too. But it rarely does. So try this shortcut instead. It's guaranteed to move you forward. I compiled my intellectual property to grow cosmetic revenues, everything I've gleaned over the years, into one playbook of the most successful practices and what they do to win. Go to cosmeticpracticevault.com and let's grow your cosmetic revenues.